This retired middle school English teacher is going to be talking about one of the real archetypes from back in the day when short stories were taught, and novels were taught, and poetry was taught, and mythology was taught, and grammar was taught, and word roots were taught. And that is Shirley Jackson's The Lottery. It was written during the Cold War, which I was born into. And, you know, I do so much study on the Cain and the descendants of that flawed bloodline, which has promulgated out into the whole world by now, in some respects. Nobody's perfect in their generations anymore. And in this story, I grew up in a number of places, and one of them for a few years was when I was in second and third grade, about the same age as the boys that you see at the beginning of this rural tale. And my wife's father's from Minnesota and grew up on a dairy farm. And I do believe that New York Mills, Minnesota may have been not too terribly different from the town that you see here. Now I'm talking about what it looks like, not necessarily how it operates, okay? I'm not from there. I don't know.
I've been on to that second grade teacher.
Get the new roof up? Finished yesterday.
Come on, Harry, put it back!
Did you ever hear of taxes going down?
Then I'm going to finish it off with some lace around the sleeves.
Harry, you come here now. Sally, come here. Bobby Martin.
I'm including in this a lot of text material which will be adjacent to the film clips, because I've also been studying basil, the herb, basilisks, the cryptids, and basilicas, which are great structures named for the basilisks. And the basilisks, of course, are part of that dark Kenite genetic game playing early on in humanity. And it revved up again a little bit after the flood. You know, they say that there were giants in the earth in those days and after that. And much of what I've been researching lately for the last couple of years demonstrates that underground cities exist all over the world. And it may well be that back when Noah was telling people there's going to be a flood in about 120 years, I think 120 years is plenty of time for people to tunnel out.
Think that should do it?
Places where they think they might be able to create underground air pockets and survive the rising waters and the slowly draining waters after the flood. The Hopi Americans talk about the ant people down in Mesoamerica and Central America, people coming up out of the ground, China, people coming up out of the ground, India, people coming up out of the ground, all of these people coming up out of the ground after a flood. I can imagine that some strange religion might happen after a catastrophe like this. And remember, in Shirley Jackson's story here, all of these people, there's probably only one or two churches in this town, and one of them's the big one. And they all sat there in the pews together. You don't see that in this film. But just to hear them relate with one another
Thought we were
what
gonna
I'm
have to
hearing,
get on without you, Tessie.
small town
You wouldn't have me leaving the dishes in the sink, would you, Joe?
Christian nationalists
Well,
and the
now,
kind of
guess we better get
strange
started. Get this
habits
over with so as we can go back to work.
that breaking down the
Anybody else
separation of
ain't
church
here?
and state can cause in communities.
Dunbar.
Clyde Dunbar ain't here. Clyde Dunbar. That's right. He's broke his leg, hasn't he? Who's drawing for him this year?
Me, I guess.
Janie, ain't you got a grown boy to do it for you?
Well, Horace ain't but 16 yet. I guess I'll have to do it myself this year.
Watson boy drawing this year? Here. I'm drawing for me and my ma.
Good boy, Jack. Glad to see your mother's got a man to do it.
Well, I guess that's everyone. Old man Warner make it? Here. All ready? I'll read the names then. Heads of families first. The men come up and draw a paper out of the box. I keep the paper folded in your hand without looking at it until everyone's had a turn. Everything clear? Adam.
Seems like there's no time at all between lotteries anymore. Seems like only last week we got through with the last one.
Yeah, time sure does go fast.
Clark. Hutchinson. Jones.
They say over in Warren County they're talking about giving up the lottery.
Pack of crazy fools, listening to the young folks. Nothing is good enough for them.
Judd.
First thing you know, everybody want to be going back to living in caves. Nobody work anymore. Live that way for a while.
Cleffer.
There used to be a saying, lottery in June, corn heavy soon. Next thing we'd know, we'd all be eating stewed chickweed and acorns.
Langley.
A while.
Cleffer.
There used to be a saying, lottery in June, corn heavy soon. Next thing we'd know, we'd all be eating stewed chickweed and acorns.
Langley.
There's always been a lottery.
Hi, Mitch. Hi, Joe.
It's bad enough to see young Joe Summers out there joking with everybody.
Martin.
Some places have already quit lotteries.
Nothing but trouble in that pack of young fools.
Overdyke.
I wish they'd hurry.
Percy. Robinson. Summers. Warner.
77th year I've been in the lottery. 77th time. Watson.
Don't be nervous, Jack. Take your time, son. Zanini. Hi, George. All right, fellas.
Bill Hutchinson's got it.
You didn't give him time enough to pick the one he wanted. I saw you. You didn't give him time. It wasn't fair. Be a good sport, Tessie. We all took the same chance.
Shut up, Tessie.
Well, everybody, that went pretty fast. Now we're going to have to be hurrying a little more to get done in time. Bill, you drew for the Hutchinson family. You got any other households in the Hutchinsons? Any in-laws? Grandchildren?
There's Don and Eva. Make them take their chance.
Daughters draw with their husbands' families. You know that as well as anyone else, Tessie.
It isn't fair.
I guess not, Joe. My married daughter draws with her husband's family. It's only fair. I got no other family except the kids.
How many kids, Bill?
3. Nancy, Bill Jr., Davy, and Tessie and me.
All right, Harry, you got 4 tickets ready?
Yeah.
Drop them in the box. Take Bill's and put it in. Ready, Bill?
I think we should start over. It wasn't fair. Dad didn't give him time enough to choose. Everybody saw that. Well, you all saw that. Please listen to me. Joe didn't give Bill enough time.
You ready, Bill?
No. But I do know this, that the heartland, the breadbasket,
Remember, take a
as
slip,
they call it
keep
here in this
folded until
country,
each person's taken one. Harry, you help him, Dave.
may very well be involved in a lot of crazy occult stuff
Take a paper
that
out of the box, David.
trace directly back
Just take one.
to the fertility gods and
Harry,
goddesses
you hold it for him.
and sacrifices made to them
Nancy?
over 5,000 years ago. This story, nobody was ambivalent about it when we read it way back in the early 70s. I remember seeing this short film. It was on television back then. Okay, I mean when I look at this, it seems to me to be a reenactment of what we might call
Bill?
kind of a MAGA community collectively making a MAGA decision based on some really bizarre and completely unscrutinized ancient habits, ancient annual
It ain't
habits.
the way it used to be. People ain't the way they used to be.
And the old man that you see in my thumbnail there, he's like your Pharisee. He's like your Pharisee. His suit is like the phylacteries. And the tone of his voice is very much like, I'm sure,
Bill Jr.?
those Pharisees were talking to Christ when they were accusing him.
Tessie? Bill? All right, folks, let's finish quickly.
Saint Stephen with a rose, in and out of the garden he goes. Country garden in the wind and the rain, wherever he goes the people all complain. Stephen prosper in his time, well he may and he may decline. Did it matter, does it now? Stephen would answer if he only knew how.